You're listening to the Washington Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Smith, and every golfer knows the real game doesn't end on the 18th green. The deals, friendships, the ideas, those happen in the clubhouse, the 19th hole. Golf figured out 400 years ago that talent needs a town square. This week, I heard a guy make the exact argument about artificial intelligence. From the stage of the Showbox, the legendary Seattle venue that's hosted everyone from Duke Ellington to Pearl Jam. His name is Jacob Colker. He's the co-founder and managing director of AI House, the fund that spent 12 years turning Seattle research into real companies. But he'll tell you himself, the money isn't the point. Seattle has the talent. Seattle has the flying horses. What Seattle's been missing is the clubhouse. I recorded this straight off the board, right at the Showbox, with an open mic so you can feel the room. Here's Jacob.
All right, before we do anything else, we need to thank a few people. We need to thank JP Morgan and Fenwick and Google and Pilot and the crew who's been working so hard to put on this event. Come on, let's give them a round of applause, yeah? Yeah, this is not easy to create a space like this. My name is Jacob Colker. I want to thank you all for giving me a few minutes to say a few words. I'm one of the co-founders and managing directors of AI House. We recently changed our name from the AI2 Incubator. And I know what I'm supposed to do here tonight. I'm supposed to talk about our $80 million fund and our $600,000 pre-seed checks and all the ways that we support founders. And we do that. We've done that for 12 years now. We've created 65 AI companies. They've raised $500 million of venture capital. And that includes Exnor and Casium and Aria and Shipstack. And all of the half the room today was our startups. It was really fun to walk through that. But that's not why I'm here tonight. I'm here because Seattle is at the forefront and has an opportunity to have a massive impact on this next wave of technology, but we are missing a major piece of making that happen. That's what we're trying to build here at AI House. Now, I'll tell you this. First, I want to tell you a really fun story. When I was a kid, I went to go see Cirque du Soleil. Anybody here been to Cirque du Soleil? Come on, yeah. It's amazing, right? I remember walking into Cirque du Soleil and seeing people doing flips and looking up and seeing flying horses flying over my head. Like, it was incredible. How is this real? How is this actually possible in life that this exists? And then I took my family back a few years ago to Marymore Park, and we went and saw Cirque du Soleil, and we walked out saying, yeah, you know what? Flying horses, I've seen that, right? And I think that's the thing. We get numb to the magic. And I'll tell you what, that's what's happening right here in Seattle, because I will tell you this, I have been relentless on LinkedIn the last few months talking about how awesome Seattle is. And I will tell you that we have flying horses in every corner of this city. 40% of the entire world every day gets on an airplane built here. Microsoft, Amazon, our two hometown heroes were created here. The cloud was invented here. We literally created the cloud. AI would not be possible without the cloud, and we did that here. And speaking of Microsoft and Amazon, Microsoft owns 27% of OpenAI. Amazon owns 15% of Anthropic. And when those two companies IPO, that will be a $500 billion return to two companies headquartered right here in Seattle. The single largest return in corporate investment in the history of corporate investing, and that's going to trickle down to our communities, okay? On top of that, we've got the University of Washington, the number 6 university in the world right here in Seattle, and it wasn't built by some medieval king. It wasn't endowed by some oil baron on the East Coast. Firefighters and loggers and teachers and fishermen created this university over the last 150 years. They built it to be the number 6 university in the world. And then they made it accessible. In-state tuition at UW is $13,000 compared to $65,000 at Harvard or Stanford, which means the kid whose parents are paying rent month to month can go get a top 6 education for 1/5 the cost of Harvard. And they could go and join the rest of us in the tent of prosperity and doing amazing things. Seattle Health Innovations have saved 100 million lives. We invented bone marrow transplants, kidney dialysis, the defibrillator. smallpox eradication, all of that came through Seattle. And I'll tell you what, the most important thing and the most amazing thing is the talent that exists in this region. There are 300,000 tech and science and space and bio and startup builders here. And I'll tell you what, no matter what they post on LinkedIn, 99% of them are not going anywhere. They're going to stay here in Seattle, and they're going to build here in Seattle, and they're going to innovate here in Seattle, and they're going to move the needle forward for all of us. And I know a lot of those people are in this room right here. So I will tell you this. If we have all of these ingredients, why are we missing something? What's going on? And that is the thing. We have all this magic. We have flying horses everywhere. But we're walking around like somebody stole our lunch. Like we're waiting on the Bay Area's permission to be great. We are great. We are great. Seattle is awesome. It's an amazing place to build a company. And 99% of the world would change places with us tomorrow. And we know that because 700,000 of them came to the World Cup here and were blown away by what they saw. And yet we're walking around like we're, somebody stole our lunch. And that's not what we're going to do anymore. That's not what we're going to do anymore. What's missing in Seattle is the town square. We have all the ingredients, but if you go to the Bay Area, you go to New York, you go to Paris, Station F in Paris, those places have a place for founders to get together and to share knowledge, where one founder's insights and breakthrough on a Tuesday can become everyone else's unfair advantage on a Thursday. That's what we're trying to create at AI House. It's so much more than a fund. It's an opportunity for people to share knowledge, because right now, if you were building a SaaS company in 2021, 2022, you knew the playbook. But today, in this crazy AI world that we live in all of the ambiguity that we are now dealing with, whoever learns fastest and then shares that with their community are the ones that are going to break through. That's what AI House is trying to do. We are trying to create an environment for Seattle founders where people can share knowledge, where proximity can create momentum for everyone else in the facility. And that's what we're trying to do. So tonight, I'm not asking you to take my money. Yes, we write checks. Yes, we support founders. We've been doing it for a long time. We've gotten pretty darn good at it. But that's not why I'm up here. I'm asking you to come help us build this ecosystem. Make the intros, make that coffee, make the opportunity for the person sitting next to you. Right now, look to the person to the left of you and to the right of you. These are folks who can open the door for you for a customer, for somebody that can move the needle forward. This is how ecosystems are built, by each one of us rolling up our sleeves and getting work done for each other. That's what this is about. So please come down to AI House. Learn, share, bring that customer who is willing to try things early, bring that friend of yours that's trying to be a founder, bring the researcher whose research is dying to become a company. We can do this in Seattle if we work together. And we do not need anyone's permission to be great, because Seattle is awesome. And I'm tired of all the stuff that gets posted online about how we need to be second-class citizens to everyone else. We created so much of the technology world that we all live in right now, and it's time for us to own the next chapter and be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Last thing I'll say, if you need any more inspiration for tonight, that's my drum kit. We're going to blow the roof off at 8:30. Stick around. Let's have some fun. Thank you so much.
That was Jacob Colker of AI House, live from the Showbox Seattle Tech Week Startup Showcase. AI House, down on Pier 66. If you're building something, go learn, go share, make the intro, buy the coffee. And by the way, right after this speech, Jacob got behind the drum kit and played the Showbox with his band. An $80 million fund manager drumming 80s rock, 600 founders. That's the Seattle he's talking about. You've been listening to the Washington Golf Podcast on the Golf Podcast USA Network, America's only local golf podcast network. For our full catalog, check out golfpodcasts.org or just simply Google your state and the words Golf Podcast to find your local show. I'm Brett Smith. Thanks for listening, and always remember to tip your cart staff.